Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today, August 10th, 2021. It's a Tuesday. It's the man they call Meathead, and it is the Matthew Thomas to listen to for the week of August 10th. Matthew Thomas.
Well, thank you very much, Meathead, for fitting me with that dubious distinction. That's out of all the dubious distinctions that you have given me, that's one of that remains in the top of my list.
It is the most dubious distinction of dubious distinctions that could ever be dubiously distincted on top of you.
I think that's fair.
Yep. So, hey, it's August 10th, 2021. Do you know it's been 22 years, Matthew?
22 years
to the day.
August the 10th of 1999. See, I did all that math in my head.
It's the 22nd anniversary.
Of, happy anniversary to you, Meathead.
Well, it's the anniversary of Meathead seeing Jericho debut in WWF.
That would make sense as to why the anniversary falls on a Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah. Jericho yesterday debuted 22 years ago, August 9th, 1999 in Chicago. Raw is Jericho. This was also the last time that Raw would be taped on a Tuesday for the following week. I was at that show in Milwaukee at the Bradley Center. Jericho on the opening night went head-to-head on the microphone with The Rock. And then on the next week's show for everybody else across country, but the next day for everyone in the Milwaukee area, he would go one-on-one on the mic with The Undertaker. So Jericho, that opening segment, he got a good 6 minutes on the microphone.
Yeah, one of the greatest debuts in, I think, wrestling history. Still talked about to this very day.
You know what else we didn't talk about to this very day? Who sponsors this program?
Oh, you're talking about Collar and Elbow brand. And if you want to check out their fine assortment of clothing and apparel, you head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com. And if you want to save money on said apparel, you enter promo code Linda K, and you enter Linda K, and you save you a TEN.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. No, I was doing my thing. I said you enter Linda K and save you TEN.
So here's what happened, folks. If you play the clip back, Matthew Thomas said that, heard what he said, made it funny in his head, and he said, "Well, I can't let that one slip by. I'm gonna have to do that one again."
I don't understand. That's my new gimmick. Is I spell like 10. I spell it TN.
And I understand what Matthew did because I heard him understanding what he did, and then I had the whoa ready because we will not disrespect Linda K on this very program.
I'll have to re-listen to the broadcast tomorrow because I'm still confused.
Well, we understand that you're naked in your shower listening to myself and Linda and yourself talk. So
yeah, it's that's how I get so many podcasts down. Is I just kind of sprinkle them throughout my day and my various activities in my routine.
Yikes. All right, Matthew, let's talk a little bit more wrestling action. No, I'm really excited that the Jericho debut was great. That was also the day, I got to tell you this, thank God for the WWE Network in the form that it was in. I assume it's going to make it over to Peacock, but I was like, you know what? I had really great seats. I'm pretty sure I could probably pick myself out in the crowd there because I was sitting ringside just to the right of the commentary booth. I think I've told you this before, where I screen capped it, and I found myself, there I was in my Mariners cap and a black t-shirt that said, Raw is War. Do you know why I had a Raw is War t-shirt on? WCW Meathead had a Raw is War t-shirt on?
Because they probably made you change out of your previous apparel, right?
Yep, and what was my previous apparel? Who was I there to see?
Well, you said you were wearing a Mariners hat, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was a Randy Johnson jersey. Oh, yeah.
No, get out of here. I was wearing my Monday Night Jerichoholics t-shirt.
Yeah, and they don't want any of that WCW merchandise on their TV show because they're locked down in that Monday Night War.
Yep, they made me take the shirt off, and then I held it up as a sign and said, you got one more chance, otherwise we're throwing you out of the building.
So let me ask you this. Was there an intermediate period where you were shirtless?
Probably during a Kane entrance where the pyro was going off.
Fantastic.
Naked. Yes, there was probably a time because it happened right at my seat. Here's how cool these seats were, by the way. We were in a row that only had 2 chairs.
Oh, wow.
It was one of those configured
Yeah.
in the aisles type rows where it was literally 2 folding chairs next to each other.
Well, hey, since we're talking about the various architecture of Raw sets, have you noticed the last few weeks since they have got the new set and since they've been live, how tighter those rails are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like an MSG type of look. I mean the audience is not that far away from the performers now.
They are right down there. And I mean,
Yeah.
I don't particularly enjoy the stage being flat like that. I
Yeah.
like to,
Yeah.
but again, that's, I guess, what they're doing. The pyro doesn't come off the stage as much anymore either.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
all
definitely different
LED
look.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what are you going to do, right?
Different
I thought
look
you had something else there.
Yeah. No, I was waiting for you to transition there, but yeah, I can talk a little bit more about the Raw set. Yeah, it's a new Raw set. That's for sure. It's certainly a thing.
It is definitely a thing. What a waste of your time. Sorry you were all listening to that. Real quick, I wanted to get your opinion. I know we talked about it yesterday with Linda, but the Chelsea Green thing and the basically fighting over her legal name. Can you imagine if Matthew Thomas Morgan were to say that you can no longer be Matthew Thomas on the air?
Yeah, I mean, at that juncture, did you just go after everybody named Chelsea Green?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's absurd. I mean, I thought you were basically, it was a given. If you're using your real name, you can't, copyright that.
Given name.
Yeah, I've never heard of such.
Let's talk about Raw from last night, shall we?
I think that sounds like a wonderful plan, Meathead.
Well, here's the real plan. The plan was to bring back RK Bro, right? Randy Orton returns to Raw last night, and kind of pointing out your little tidbit there. Randy Orton coming down, they were within arm's reach.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no TCB tank coming down that aisle.
Yeah. No, I mean you can essentially if you got enough of a reach, man. I mean you can almost put out both hands and get both rails. Maybe not quite, but you can come pretty close. And let me tell you this, I was actually surprised by this because I didn't check my email in the 3 or 4 hours before Raw, but apparently WWE sent this out via an email, announcing Orton returning, which, yeah, I get you're trying to get eyes watching it live, but I was much more happy to be surprised with it than I was to get notified ahead of time that Orton was going to be there.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I was made aware that it was going to be on the show, so, I mean, it is what it is. Orton comes out, obviously it's his first time in front of the crowd, and he's looking jacked, right? I mean, it's ecstatic to be out there.
Oh, yeah.
Riddle comes out again, and, Orton's line, which was actually kind of funny, he goes, look, we had some good matches, sold some T-shirts, got some buzz on social media, and that was it, dude. I work better by myself, and I'm not a team, and I saw you doing just fine. I thought, because Randy Orton was wearing the RK Bro hoodie. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh,
he had the stallion on the front.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, he likes his clothing gear, I guess. He said he ordered him a scooter and it's coming in the mail. I mean, so, apologies. I don't know why I'm holding a quarter while I'm on the air broadcasting. But, it's, I thought we're getting an RKO in the beginning segment there.
No, I was hopeful that we would not get an RKO at all, that he and Riddle would officially, put pen to paper and solidify this tag team as, solid as I knew they were when I drafted them back many, many months ago. I saw this moment when this was like a second or third round pick. I think it was maybe a third round pick for Nelson Mandela right here. And yeah, I mean, this was the moment that I was waiting for because I knew that
third round pick.
This would catch fire in many, many months into the future. This would be the talk of the wrestling world. And what are you bookmarking your Raw in your first month back to live crowds? What are you bookending it with, rather? You're starting and you're ending with RK Bro because Matthew Thomas knew all those months ago how big of a deal this would be.
Your third pick was RK Bro. Your first pick was Roman Reigns. Second pick was Lashley. Your third pick was RK Bro. Look at you.
Sounds like a smart dude.
Well, the Brand to Brand Invitational sees Corbin Barron come over to, or Baron Corbin, excuse me.
I like Corbin Barron. He's a pretty cool dude.
Corbin Burns is the one that played third base for the Cleveland Indians in the movie Major League.
Well, there you go.
Come on, Dorn! But his SpaghettiO stain is on the other side of his shirt this week.
Well, I think he switched. He switched from either spaghetti or ketchup over to mustard. I think it was more of a mustard type of look last evening, if I'm not mistaken.
This leads to a match with Corbin. I'm just going to say Corbin now. That way you don't know if I'm talking about first name or last name. Against Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre sets him up and says, how about you do it for 100,000? 200,000, 300,000. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And then it's Your thoughts?
I feel like.
Are you entertained by Drew at this point?
Not at all.
Drew?
Not at all. And he's carrying around a lethal weapon, and that's kind of weird.
Wait, is it Danny Glover or Mel Gibson?
Yeah, he's
Or is it Joe Pesci?
He's Pesci. He's Joe Pesci.
Leo Getz.
You know, I hate to say this, but you go to Drew back before Royal Rumble 2020. You take the Drew that had been getting in those months, and then you fast forward and you just put somebody into a Raw tonight, and you could very easily believe that Drew from 2020 on until he lost the title, that whole title run, never happened, and that's very unfortunate. But the way that he's booked right now, he is booked as just a stereotypical wrestling character from Scotland. And they are basically just going all in on his heritage, and it is nothing
all
of the Drew personality
as well.
Yeah. And they try to give him a little bit of they evoked his deceased mother and try to tie that into the sword. And I mean, they even, and I don't know if you were able to watch all of the backstage with Drew tonight, but he was talking about how he was nearly aborted. And and they
need to abort this character style.
That just seems very surprising for WWE, and it seems It seems like they're just throwing stuff up against the wall now for Drew that they don't need to, man.
To see if it sticks.
Yeah, this guy, prior to the crowds going away, this guy was on fire, and he had a very, very worthwhile title run. And I just don't see the reason they're taking steps back like they are with Drew.
I don't know, but we've got to move on from this. There's another segment with Riddle and Randy Orton. You can't help but laugh when Orton tells him, I am serious, and don't call me bro. Because if he would have said, don't call me Shirley, that would have been funny. Good stuff. Here's the thing I actually popped for more than anything else over the last few weeks. And this is probably just a me thing to pop. Did you notice anything in the Karrion Kross, Jeff Hardy entire segment? Anything different?
I can't say that I did.
Well, let me ask you in this way. If you close your eyes, did you hear anything different?
It depends on if I had any additional appliances running in my home.
Nope. Go back and listen to Jeff Hardy's entrance music.
Oh, yeah, they did. They went back to an older Jeff Hardy entrance, right?
Yeah, my favorite one.
I did catch that. Oh, my goodness.
I got a chopstick right in my pocket. Can't you see the writing on the wall?
Yeah. You gotta carry those chopsticks around, man. You never know when you're gonna need a good old chopstick. No, I mean, here's the thing. If you're at your home, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have spoons and forks and knives available.
Chris Cornell had a spoon man.
But when you need a good chopstick, 9 times out of 10, you're not. I mean, they're disposable. That's not going to be a staple of your. I struggle with the word of your cutlery. That's the word I have trouble with. Cutlery. Yeah, I actually try to utilize that multiple times a day to get used to it, but I still struggle with it.
Fair enough. Well, maybe you ought to have you introduce Brandon Cutler, and then we'll get that down. Karrion Kross against Jeff Hardy, returning from COVID protocol, allegedly. Karrion Kross dominated Jeff Hardy. I mean, I know this went over a commercial break, but this match was honestly, I believe, put there to right the wrong of him losing the initial match.
I hopefully so, because I mean, Kross has been on Raw like for the last 3 or 4 consecutive weeks, so he's
4 times. Hardy, Lee, Hardy.
He's quintessentially there. So unfortunately,
he's 50%.
Yeah,
he's 2-2.
Unfortunately, you're taking away, a lot of the impact that he makes when he does make that transition, and he hasn't been burning through people. So you really haven't given non-NXT viewers a reason to tune in.
Well, Kross goes back and then slaps on the Doomsday. Put on the cross jacket on Hardy, but he could see the writing on the wall. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I am getting frustrated with Alexa Bliss's character and what they're doing with her as she takes on Doudrop again.
Well, you have to look at it completely different now, because this was basically influenced by the Fiend. He's no longer with the company. So how?
Well, they only released Bray Wyatt. I didn't see anything about releasing the Fiend.
That's true. You know what? Oh, maybe they can just put somebody else. We can go to the fake Diesel and Razor Ramon
and Doink.
Yes. Oh my! Maybe that's what Elias was up to a little bit later in the show. Maybe
we'll get to that.
Maybe he's gonna come back. Yeah, and you heard the Bray chants in the crowd last night too. So I think that, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know how well that character is going to play now in front of live audiences.
I still love Alexa. I still love the character.
Yeah.
I don't even hate Lily. I don't. However, it's, there's that old wives' tale about either you play up to your competition or you play down to your competition. She's playing down to Eva Marie and Doudrop.
Yeah.
And she wasn't in a high enough position to be able to do that.
It's unfortunate. And when you really stop and you look at Raw, you've got a 3-hour program. We've got the 3 women involved in the title picture. This right now, to the best of my knowledge, is the only other storyline in the women's division on Raw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you count the tag team, but that's such a stretch to count that in, because you could bring Tamina over to wrestle, but I mean, that would be a huge stretch. And there's no Asuka lately. Asuka is on a break up here.
That's true.
All right, we were going to get Sheamus and we are going to get to Ricochet, which is something that just keeps going on as well. But this is nothing more. Sheamus would have won. It's nothing more to set up Damian Priest and to set up, hopefully, a SummerSlam match for the United States Championship. And then America's Most Wanted has got a one-on-one match with Damian Priest. Priest wins that as well, and then calls out Sheamus. And Sheamus accepts. He's going to get his match.
A few things here. A very unique-looking cross body across the announce table from Ricochet to Sheamus. I don't know that I've ever seen that spot on the announce table. And what I really liked with the finish to Morrison and Priest is, yes, thank you, Damian Priest, for no selling water. Water should not have cost you the match to begin with. The spot from the dripstick should not have distracted him enough to lose. Right. He just basically no-sells it and hits his finisher.
Well, it comes from fire, so the water would have just melted.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, no, that was actually very sensible booking there.
Here's something that I don't know if is sensible, but we're continuing to get them, and I want the talents to get over. I just don't know if they're going to get over as TBar and Mace. But TBar wrestling Mustafa Ali, and Ali's got a new jacket courtesy of Mansoor. I practiced that, Linda K. It's Mansoor, not Mansoor's. Mansoor.
Yeah, that's a very good job there, Meathead.
TBar with a win over Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I would really like a name change here, and we never found out why he calls himself TBar, have we?
No, honestly, I think it's because he used to love eating Mounds bars.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we need on the network, since it seems like they've been a little slow to put out original content.
When are we going to be putting out the documentary Behind the Scenes on Retribution?
Day of.
Right. Day of Retribution.
They
there you go.
They shocked the wrestling industry and messed with an electrical outlet or something.
Transformer. Yeah. Somebody's playing with the light switches.
Yeah, that's their that was their initial gimmick. They're just wayward electricians.
24/7 champion Reggie in the back doing a photo shoot. Akira Tozawa appeared disguised as a delivery man. I tried to roll him up, but apparently a janitor interferes and breaks up the 3 counts. So it's R-Truth. And then R-Truth and Tozawa yelling at each other. They don't even have for 24/7 anymore. The group of 10 to 15 people chasing them around. It's just Akira Tozawa and R-Truth.
Yeah, no, but you know what? They gave you what you were asking for, man. I remember on a show that I wasn't on because it was one of them that I was listening to in the shower.
Yeah.
You did request that the 24/7 stuff actually happen all over,
right.
Not just these actual matches that we've been getting since Reggie won the title. So they must be listening to you.
They are listening. Look what happened over the weekend. WWE acknowledging that the number 1 and number 2 movies in the country are both The Rock and John Cena's movies.
Isn't that wild?
It's amazing. When is Rock and Cena going to pair up in a movie? And what would you don't want a buddy cop movie, do you?
Chips,
they already did Chips with Dak Shepard and Michael Pena.
Yeah, but do a different one. Just do a new Chips. That's what you need. Yep.
So like Chips Light? Like
or
less salty?
Odd Couple. They could do Odd Couple. Let's see, what other movies involve 2 people?
As long as they're not both, because they're both part of the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Rock wasn't in the last one. John Cena was as Dom's brother.
And I mean, here's the thing: we've become accustomed to Rock being the face of Hollywood, but it's like you blinked, and then all of a sudden, here's Cena and big budget movies.
And Cena and Rock both survived some pretty awful movies in the beginning.
Yeah, no, and I mean, John Cena. Here's the thing: Rock did, but they were Hollywood Cena was WWE Studios for a little while, with the Marine and everything. So,
well, the Mummy stuff that was in conjunction with WWE Studios.
Oh, was it? Okay, interesting.
They got a taste of it.
Interesting. So, but I mean,
Tall, I believe, was also WWE Studios.
Interesting.
Which was a great movie, by the way.
But yeah, no, that's fantastic. I mean, you've got Rock, easily the most successful crossover, and I mean,
ever.
I guess, and you got to look at Cena right now is probably being 2. I mean,
I remember Rock and Cena are both in the DC Extended Universe.
Yeah, that's true.
Rock is playing, I believe it's Black Adam.
Yeah. And
then John Cena is part of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And I mean, I think at this point now, I mean, I'm in my head, at least, Cena surpassed Hogan. I mean, his stuff was kind of,
Hogan's best movie was his first, and it was downhill from there, honestly.
You know what? I didn't mind Santa with Muscles.
Oh, boy.
You know what I think? Come the holiday season, you and I need to do a full, in-depth, detail review of that.
Next week on an all-new special edition, Santa with Muscles.
I like the sound of that, but I think we need to look at that.
Yeah, it's because I practice my voiceover voice, but the movie's going to be awful. Let's talk about Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley is out at the ring. I don't like it when there's no comeuppance at the end of a promo. I mean, sometimes they work. Be it a guy comes out and contradicts or whatever. This was MVP and Bobby Lashley owning 10 minutes worth of screen time, and
you're not gonna get it because Goldberg's gonna be there every other week, if that. That's the thing with basically bringing Goldberg in for this. He's not going to be a weekly guy.
He's only hired for so many days.
Yeah.
And you got to save some for Saudi Arabia.
You know what I'm hoping for SummerSlam? I'm not a fan of title matches going on first. I think this needs to go on first at SummerSlam because it's going to be a sub 5-minute match, which hopefully Lashley dominates. I mean, it's probably going to be back and forth. They're not going to bring Goldberg in just to get squashed. I wish they did. I wish perhaps we had higher stakes in this. I wish that we had
higher than the WWE Championship.
I wish we had Goldberg putting his career on the line. That's semi-reasonable. I mean, I think that if you were doing this as a vehicle for Bobby Lashley to retire Bill Goldberg, there might be more excitement in this match. And that's not there. In my fever dream world, I would like for Bill Goldberg to put his son on the line and Bobby Lashley
get out of here.
Potentially gain custody.
Gage is 15 years old, sir.
Of Bill Goldberg's son. I know that's not going to happen.
So Gage Goldberg on a pole match, is that what you're looking for?
The career seems more likely than custody of the son, but one can hope. But here's what I'm hoping. I hope it goes on first. I hope it's over with pretty quick, Bobby Lashley retaining. So, not just so I can get my championship retention points for Team Nelson Mandela, WWE is in Denver, Colorado the following night. They are running a house show the night after SummerSlam. Bobby Lashley, who lives outside of the Denver, Colorado area, if that match opens the show, he can hop on a plane, probably a Frontier plane, because they're running, multiple routes from Vegas to Denver every day, and get back to Denver 10:30ish, 11ish o'clock, and sleep in his own bed that night. That is the best case scenario. Bobby Lashley retains in the opening match, gets an early flight out, gets a good night's sleep in his own bed because they're in Denver the next day.
We need to pay attention at SummerSlam to the fact that Mr. Money in Bank will be there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is true. That is true for
and he doesn't have to go after Roman or John Cena.
No,
doesn't have to go after Lashley or Goldberg. Who knows? Raw Women's Champion Nikki ASH taking on Rhea Ripley, and the winner by DQ is ASH. I absolutely loved Charlotte last night. I love that bodysuit she had on. That was the colors.
Yeah.
She is owning it right now.
Yeah, no, it was a good look. And here's the thing. I mean, once you get in front of fans, I mean, you saw the positive reception for her interfering in the match. I mean, she's somebody that, I mean, she's a mainstay. She's a staple. And I'm very curious as to, especially with people that should be coming back soon, where all of this lands.
The vignette of him taking multiple guitar shots to the back and him standing out by a campfire, WWE stood for Walk with Elias, but Elias is dead. I feel that WWE has squandered this amazing gimmick and this really amazing talent, Elias Sampson, who used to be on NXT and then made his way to Raw. What is next?
I don't know. This is not a huge surprise, being that, albeit on a different brand, you got somebody else playing a guitar right now. And I mean, WWE, they don't want a male and a female talent to have the same last name on a brand, so you knew it was only a matter of time.
We didn't even get a jam session between the two of them.
Yeah, I know. I've loved the gimmick, but the way that he's been booked, unfortunately, in a lot of ways, that's been the entire focus, and they have not.
It's years.
Yeah,
years of this.
We're going for years, and again, much like Wyatt was used. In fact, the guy was so talented, and the gimmick was so good. Regardless of whether he won or lost, he's always going to be able to come out there and do his thing. And it was, I think they just reverted to that too much. So. Super talented. I love the gimmick, but I look forward to seeing, now that the concentration is hopefully going to be just on, him as a wrestler. How does it go? And I mean, I could see a scenario where he shines. I could see a scenario where, unfortunately, if he's not booked correctly, he gets lost in the shuffle. Yeah. So, we'll see.
I hope all the best for him, because I really think that dude is talented.
Yeah.
I mean, the WWE's version of the Milverine.
Yeah.
Remember that story?
Yes, I do.
Raw Tag Team Champion AJ Styles taking on the returning Randy Orton. Matthew, after Randy Orton gets the win, after the hug that Matt Riddle begs Randy Orton for, we're all asking for it. When is it going to happen? Where is it? Out of nowhere. Here's the ironic thing that I heard from the commentary. It was an RKO out of nowhere. No, it wasn't. We knew it was coming. That's what Randy Orton does. Yeah. Now, he hugs him, RKOs him, pats him on the head.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the commentary goes, looks like they're back to being a team.
Yeah, yeah.
So they just RKO each other?
Yeah, yeah. And that was specifically, that was done on purpose, And I mean, yeah, it's,
Do they face Styles and Omos?
Oh, they've got to, because Styles and Omos has nobody else. I mean, the fans, this is the most over thing in WWE right now. I think you're definitely going that route, and they're going the route of sticking true to Orton's character, where he can RKO you, and that's just his nature. And it's they're trying to make it adorable, which man,
you can't even say that with a straight face.
Yeah, here's where I think the money would have been. I think the money would have been that you just have him reluctantly, say, okay, we're a team now. You see him grow on him, and then
don't call me bro.
Yeah, and then just 6 months, a year down the road, the RKO comes out of nowhere when you're not expecting it. If it's just part of his personality and he does it occasionally because that's just Randy being Randy, I think you lose a little bit of the turn. And I think the turn has got to come at some point, because that, would be something huge for Matt Riddle, who is just, like I said, Riddle is just such a wonderful combination of entertainment, of funny, but also being able to get down to business in the ring. And I want to go back to the beginning of the show. A little thing that I saw with Riddle that doesn't happen much. Riddle, when he comes out, he's on a scooter. He makes a beeline for Randy to get in the ring. He's excited. He doesn't go into his normal in-ring stick. And somebody
he kicked off his sandals right away. He just shot him off.
Yeah. Somebody who is notorious for it. And we saw it last week after Sasha had turned on her. Bianca Belair, I've yet to see her ever get that gear when she comes out. It's always the twirl of the braid, and it's always like the plan. I mean, what I call a video game entrance. It's like you're going in a loop. And I'd say 60-70% of the roster does it. And, maybe that makes sense the bulk of the time. But when you've got something that you're excited, or you've got somebody, that you're mad at, that you want to get to, or in this case, that you're excited you want to get to, like we saw with him, you're exactly right. The little subtleness of going down there, making the beeline, and kicking the sandals off. It wasn't even time to get the graphics ready. Just those little subtle nuances that it looks like Riddle just gets.
He's a child at heart, and that's what shined through.
He is a child at heart, and apparently he doesn't need, at least he's, was told last night, he doesn't need Randy Orton or his stepfather.
Right, his stepfather, who never came home and got lost.
Yep.
All right, well, we don't want you guys to lose us. We're available on Spotify. We're available on Apple, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you listen to the podcast every day, Monday through Friday. Matthew Thomas, tomorrow morning we will be back. We'll be talking about whatever's happening on NXT, if they have anybody left on there, with all the releases that happened over the last week. So for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.